So a good way to start this is by the investigation they're going to be doing on the stream study is finding out how clean the water is in the stream just by the centre grounds. But to give it a bit of context, if we go onto the computer here, go onto user and load up the desktop there. There's a couple of videos on here. You only need to see one. If I go to stream study video 1 here, so double click on that. And there's an old news report from quite a few years ago now. I'm just going to fast forward it a little bit. But it's about a pollution incident that happened
along
in
the
the
bank
stream
have
here.
been pumped out for at least a month. The National Rivers Authority has taken samples and identified the killer substance as trimethylbenzene.
So that killed off all the wildlife, all the fish and the creatures living in the pond, which is 2 miles upstream from here, and then it came down the stream, killing off all the wildlife in the stream. So their investigation is to find out, has the stream recovered from that pollution incident, which it has, which is good news. You're not going to send them into a toxic wasteland. It's nice clean water now. But the way they determine that is exactly the same way that the Environment Agency used to test the quality of water. And that's to find out what creatures live in the stream, and then what water quality score they have. So if I talk you through how to do that, you need for a pair to have a couple of collection bottles, a spoon and a bowl. They take these from the lab and they also pick up a net, and then the stream just over here. So what we're going to do, I won't go down into the stream, but you do what's called kick sampling. So you have the nets on the bed of the stream, and then you kick the stones just in front. A lot of the creatures live under or behind the stones. So as you kick those out of the way, the current then washes them into the net, along with a load of leaves and twigs and various other bits. They then have their bowl, and if you get them to fill this with a bit of river water, they can have it on the banks or on the steps. They then invert the net into that bowl, and everything that was sort of stuck in here on the side of the net then sort of starts swimming around. What they can then do, while somebody else goes back in to do some more kick sampling, their partner can catch some of the things they've managed to catch in the net, put them into a collection pot with some water in it, and then all you're really need to take back to the lab is a variety of creatures that you've got in here. Anything that's different is the thing to get. Rather than having 10 freshwater shrimp all looking the same, you know, if you can find something that looks different, the variety will give us a better result of what we're looking for, and sort of hopefully determine the water quality from what the different creatures are. Everything can get rinsed off in the stream then, so all that can be rinsed off.
Where is the best place for me?
Well, you could probably rinse most of it while you're down here.
Yeah, if I was doing this.
Yeah, generally what I would say is you can supervise it from the bank, have a pair of welly boots on, so if you need to get in the stream you can. Really just a bit we can see here, so you don't need to go, there's actually a piece of fencing across between 2 trees down there, and don't go any further than what I can see from here, so it's just a sort of 30-40 metres length of stream. All the nets just out here because they're all a bit wet and drippy, and then we go back into the lab. Bottle of creatures, and we now want to identify them. The best way to do this is to minimise the handling. Catch it on a spoon, leave it on the spoon, and put it on the tray like that. So rather than having it in a tray full of water and it just swims past and you get a blurred image as it swims past, leave it on the spoon, it'll live out of water for quite some time. You can then focus in, you've got the focusing rings here, look at what you've got, and you can see it all magnified up, and the intestines and things like that inside it. Refer first of all to this sheet here. So start here, does it live in a case or a shell? Yes, no. And you follow the flow chart, they'll find lots of freshwater shrimp. Hopefully though, they may find one of these, a stonefly nymph or a flattened mayfly nymph. Because if you then refer to this sheet here, this is the water quality sheet, your poor old rat-tailed maggot only scores half out of 10 for water quality because it can actually live in pretty polluted water. In fact, you're probably unlikely to even find them. They tend to like sort of slow-moving canals and sludgy ponds and things like that. A nice fast-flowing clean stream as we've got is not really their environment. They'd be sort of seen and eaten too quickly. There's your leech, that only gets 3 out of 10. Freshwater shrimp, 6 out of 10, so it needs to have fairly clean water to survive. But if you find one of these, the flat and lay fly nymph or the stone fly nymph, they both score 10 out of 10. They're very particular, any pollution in the water, even sort of organic type pollution, let alone chemical pollution, and they wouldn't survive. So if you do find one of those, you can then go QED, it's a good clean stream. We can prove that because we've found a flat and lay fly nymph or a stone fly nymph.
Yeah.
You only have to find one, it could be anyone in the group that finds it, and that's proved it, for everyone that yes, it's a good clean stream.
Okay.
At the end, if they pop it back into the pot, and then that can then get taken back and put into the stream again, and probably 2 hours later, it'll get taken back out by another group. And looked at the microscope again. So, but it sort of returns it back to its habitat.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, one other thing you can do, if you get something really good that you want to sort of have everyone to have a look at, then you can pop it. In fact, we'll get a tray here. You can pop it onto a tray here, and we've got an electric microscope. So if you go to Flexiscope on the screen here, double click on that. And it's this microscope here. You can go up and down with it. There's also a little focusing bezel. So we one final thing is if you get any spillages, this is a wet room floor. So in fact, there's a drain hole that goes directly into the pond underneath, and you can just sort of mop it down into the hole. We don't use any cleaning products because obviously it goes straight back into the stream.
Okay.
But, yeah.